No, not even 2, they're crap. Give them a Caesar.
G'day, Stu here from UAVfutures, and today, well, we're going to be checking out these and a bit of, what do you call that when you think, a bit of deja vu, because these are the VR D2s, which I have checked out before, and you can check out that review up here, but this is the Pro version. So in the original VR D2s, it takes me a little bit to say that, I wasn't the biggest fan. You know, they did have some DVR and they had diversity and a whole bunch of things, but I wasn't the biggest fan of them in that review. So I'm pretty excited because I've been getting a ton of comments and a ton of emails saying, Stuart, can you please check out the Pro version? So that's what this video is. We're going to be sticking it on the bench, breaking it down, having a look how it comes, what its features are, sort of its components, and then most importantly, we'll be taking it out to the field, flying it around. I'll be giving you my impressions, I'll show you some DVR, and we'll also get Grumpy Trev to check it out as well, because I know we're both big fans of giving you guys some options on finding some good FPV solutions out there. Anyway, enough rambling from me actually. Let's stick these on the bench and get started. Alrighty, so here it is on the bench. Here's the VR D2 Pro, the Eachine. That's a bit of a mouthful to say. And let's show you what you get in the actual little kit, get rid of the boring stuff, and then jump in and look at the unit itself. So you get a nice little battery charger. The reason I like these ones, excuse that sort of loud plastic, but the reason I like these ones, you can simply plug it in and then you're ready to rock and roll. You don't need to set anything. It's pretty much fire and forget, but always supervise charging your LiPos. But I do like how easy these bad boys are to use. I use them all the time for my Fat Shark batteries. So there's the charger to the side. Now you do get one of these little lithium batteries right here. So they're awesome, these 18650s. I've used them a ton in the past. Very interchangeable with your Fat Sharks. No dramas whatsoever. So yeah, so that's what you get with it. I'm a big fan of those as well. And then we will talk about these bits a little bit in detail. So you've got your two patch antennas. You've got your two antennas. One's a patch. One's a circular polarized antenna, and they provide two very different experiences for the user, and it's great that they've been included because that's what you want in a diversity option. So we'll talk about those in a little bit as well. But let's jump in, let's look at the main part we're all excited about. Let's look at the VR D2 Pros, the actual unit themselves. Now the most important thing for me in getting a good FPV experience is having something that looks good, so you've got some good vision, so it actually is nice and clear and in focus, and also how comfortable are they. So what we're going to do, I really wasn't a fan of how comfy the VR D2s, the original ones, were whatsoever, and something that I think is a bit of a shame, you can't actually see too much improvement when it comes to the actual foam or anything. So the basic shape looks very, very similar. So I know it says upgrade on here, but straight off the bat, it looks like no one's done any real research into making these things more comfortable on your face. But we'll have to test it out. We're in the field anyway. But that's one concern straight off the bat that I'm a little bit worried with. Now the second part, let's weigh this little bad boy. So we're going to put these on my scales right here, tear this off. This is going to be a little bit difficult because we'll need to balance these. We'll put all this sort of together, put this part in here, balance this on. I don't know if you guys can see, you guys actually can't see that. See if I can bring this in so it's still on the scales. Move this out of the way. Hopefully you can see it's coming in at you can just see right here, it's coming in at 327 grams. And then if I put the battery in as well, oh, I've just broken my scales right there, so we'll have to take these off. But 327, let's tear these off. 327 plus 95, so about, let's do some quick little maths here, about 440, 430 grams right there. So, you know, not the lightest goggle. There's definitely some lighter options out there. And that sort of is a little bit worrying because if I flip this over, this is probably a good point to talk about. Look at the foam we've got around on the outside. It's not the thickest. It's definitely, I don't think, the spongiest at all. I can really feel the plastic right here. And in terms of sticking to your face, you really don't have too much options here on the nose. I really think this part, excuse this pun, that's a little bit on the nose. You've got some very hard plastic right here that's going to be cutting into your face. So for this sort of weight, already, look, that's my biggest concern is how these are going to feel on your face. I'm going to predict, you know, and we'll have to wait till we get out there, that it's going to cut up our face a little bit. So let's have a look at some of its actual features. So it's got diversity, which is one of the best things. Most goggles should have diversity nowadays, and what that's going to allow us to do, you simply screw these in, and you're going to get a nice focus beam from your patch antenna for some really strong reception in a very specific area. And you're also going to get, with your circular polarized antenna, you're going to get good all-round sort of, I guess, all-round reception. So not quite as powerful as this one, but it should be very good when you're actually flying around in some other directions that aren't in the beam. Now, something I really do like on these goggles is a lot of these goggles don't have a slider option, and I think that's an absolute must in most of them. When I quickly tried it on my face, look, it did make me feel a little bit cross-eyed, but I do like how you actually get that in. That is a very important option, because I know for a lot of people, the focal length of these bad boys really doesn't sit very well. So I know Grumpy Trev, he hates, when we'll get him to try these on as well, he hates it when you don't have a slider, because sometimes all you need is that little bit of extra depth in there to make the picture fit a little bit better. Now you can see here, you simply attach your battery, plug it in at the back, and it's going to sit in this nice little strap. I think that's a pretty smart idea, so you can have this heavy bit of weight sitting at the back of your head. That's going to help alleviate a little bit of the discomfort of the weight that comes with these bad boys. But now, let's talk about the upgrade features, because I guess for calling this thing an upgrade or a pro version, I don't think it's done too much different. I do wonder if it's a little bit of a cash grab. So of course you got your DVR, but you had that in the last one. And then on the front you've got a whole bunch of different options to sort of go through, so you can control your DVR, you can scan through the channels and find out exactly what you're on. You can record your DVR, but then the big one that I guess the only two differences that I could really see, so you've got a scan option, which will, you've got a scan option to find your channel, but also like a frequency or a spectrum analyzer. So when you go through, it's going to tell you exactly what channels are clean or where's a good spot in the FPV band to actually set up and get flying. And then the other part, instead of having a buzzer that gives you a bit of a flat battery, you can actually check your battery on screen. So it's going to give you a little bit of a warning, give you a heads up on exactly how your battery's going. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, so you've got it on there. Something I do like, down in the bottom here, this is a little bit tricky for me to film, but down here you can see exactly what channel, what band, and you can also see what part of your receiver you are actually using. So that's pretty cool. And one little function I did think was a nice little upgrade. In there, you can actually set it so you can turn off either the receiver A or receiver B. So if you want to save a little bit of power and every part matters, or maybe you're just flying around somewhere where you don't need to use your patch antenna at all and you just want to use your circular polarized, you can actually turn off one of the receivers, which makes it, that's just nice to have that option. You're probably never going to use it, and you're probably going to rock both receivers fully powered up all the time, but it is nice to have those options. While this is on, we should probably talk about the screen resolution. So it's 800 by 480, so look, it's going to be okay. Nothing amazing, it's not going to feel HD or anything like that, but it really comes down to, do you like this style of goggle, or do you like the more traditional Fat Shark styles, I guess? Because I know for me, this thing, look, it is going to feel very immersive when it's on your face, but when it comes to FPV racing, sometimes having that bigger screen can actually be a bit of a distraction. So don't make the mistake, because I've seen a lot of people do this, don't always think that the biggest, most immersive screen is going to be the best for some FPV racing, because sometimes it can be a little bit of the opposite. You want something that's a little bit more focused. So the big test is going to be, how does this actually go in the field? So that's a bit of a quick overview of these bad boys, but I guess the real test is, what are they like in the field? What's it like to fly around with them? So let's cut down to the field right now. I'll show you some DVR, and we'll also get Grumpy Trev to check them out as well, because I know he's very excited about checking out any new FPV options. So let's cut down to the field in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, down here in the field trying the VR D2 PRO. So I've got that name down pat. And what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be flying around, talking about my impressions, and then I'll also show you some DVR, and we'll talk about that when hopefully you can see the reception. And then we'll also hand it over to Grumpy Trev and see what he thinks, because I know both of us weren't really a fan of the original one, so the non-upgraded one. So it's going to be interesting to see just how much of a change is it actually when it's on your face and you're flying around in the field. Anyway, let's do it. Okie dokie. So straight away down here, I am noticing a lot of light leakage. It feels pretty tight on my head. I could probably adjust that pretty easy. I do like it how the battery's at the back. Which way is my diversity? I'm going to point that patch antenna over that way. Let's hit the scan button and see just how quickly, see if it does lock on to my channel. Is it that one there?
Yep.
Is that scan? So I pressed it once. It's not, oh, it is going through. You can see down the bottom, you've got your two little parts. Hopefully it's going to stop. Oh no, it's still got a while to go. So it's pretty slow to scan through. Oh, hang on, we got a channel. What did it come back? Oh, okay. So it scanned past it and then came back, and you can definitely tell that it's on the right channel here. We're going to start some DVR recording as well, so bear with me, and then I'm going to switch back, because I know a lot of guys in the old video that I did, I said there was a bit of lag from the DVR and jumping back and forth. So this time I'm going to make sure I get it right, because I've definitely read all those comments. We're going to make sure we're getting the DVR working, and then we'll come back to the actual RF channel. Okay, these seem to be the most convoluted menu system that I've ever dealt with. You'd think you could just press DVR and it would start recording, but no, that's definitely not the case. So for me, I find that really frustrating, but I think we've got it working. So we should just be able to hit record and then we'll go back and it should be all good. All right, so hopefully this works. Now I actually put it back to you can change the aspect ratio from the 4:3 to the 16:9. But all it really does is cut the picture a bit shorter, and I think when you've got this box style, you might as well make use of that bigger screen. It doesn't really help. I didn't find any benefit just from cutting it down to the 4:3. Anyway, a bit of light leakage, not too comfortable on my face, but also not the worst goggle either. So we'll take it up, fly it around, and see how it goes. Oh, it's making me actually feel a bit dizzy. It's making me feel a bit queasy actually flying around with these already. It's something about, like, even though the picture's in focus and it's clear, it's sort of straining my eyes to fly these around, and I am getting some dropouts as well, so I'm not really a fan of that part. You guys will be able to see the breakup on the DVR. Hopefully I'll take it out a little bit and you guys should be able to see that. Yeah, but on first impression, oh, it's bloody hell, that reception not very good at all right there. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the reception. Definitely get a lot better reception with your diversity modules and some of the other stuff. Or the fly key goggles. So the reception's not very good on these. And honestly, for calling it a Pro, I don't know what the Pro sort of, you know, or the upgrade, I don't know how much this has been upgraded. So that part's a little bit weird. I think I'm gonna have to come in and land with these because I'm not a fan. Look, the colors and the screen is really nice and bright, but it's actually starting to hurt my eyes a little bit, which is a bit of a shame. So, and this was at the best focus setting for me when I messed around with it. I am finding like it's a little bit weird with the peripheral vision with these goggles on. It definitely, I don't feel as nearly in control as when I've got my actual goggles on. All right, and now I've got to stop the DVR recording, so I'll stop that as well. Just a struggling Australian here, but that menu system is really messing me up. But my overall impressions, I think for the money, honestly, there's some better box goggles out there. They're not the most expensive ones, but I would say probably for me, something like the Eachine Goggle 2 or something like that does this a little bit better. The DVR system, if you really want to use it, like, yes, it does have DVR, but overall the flying experience for me was just, it just didn't feel nice or natural compared to some of the other stuff that I've tried. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of these ones, and I really don't know, is that a bit of a cash grab saying, you know, the Pro in the upgrade, because I don't know if it's really that much of an upgrade. I think there's some better options out there. Anyway, what we'll do, I'm going to roll some DVR and quickly show you what some of the reception looks like, and then we'll hand it over to Grumpy Trev. Alrighty, on board, I think we're with the Chameleon, flying around, and what I want to point out with the DVR, look, it seems pretty clear in terms of its actual bit rate and how it's recording. The colors look fine and all that sort of stuff. But let's check out the reception. So as I was flying around it too, and it did make me feel like I couldn't fly that well because the screen felt a bit warped and it was straining my eyes, but I shouldn't be getting the amount of breakup that I do. So I go over to here, you can see we're sort of sitting, we can see we're up there on the left. There's some figures there on the left of the screen. I think we're going to turn towards them soon, so we should be able to fly past them. There we are, sitting on the ground, you can see us right there. But when I go around this part of the bush in a little bit, watch how much this stuff starts to break up. So I'm going up a little bit there, that part's fine. And then these bushes around here, you know, usually I can fly around this. It was totally gone. The vision was totally gone, so I had to punch it up so I could get a bit higher. But the penetration that these goggles could actually receive from this receiver really didn't work, from this VTX, really didn't go down very too well. And so much so that it made me feel really unconfident when I was flying around. So I definitely think the reception on these bad boys, even though the DVR might be quite clear, the reception was sorely lacking when I was flying around, which is crazy because it's meant to be diversity. So you've got a patch antenna as well as like a circular polarized antenna on there, and I didn't find that it was very good reception whatsoever. All right, Trevor, what do you think of the VR D2 Pros upgrade, Eachine?
Well, they look pretty. They feel light, just like any other box goggle. We'll try them on and see what they're like.
Straight away, can you tell me about that focus, or how does that make your eyes feel?
Well, I'm not even going to fly with these because they're that bad. Oh, I might be. I'll go for a hover. Where's this thing?
Yep, just here. So just tell me, so you usually do struggle a little bit with most box goggles anyway.
These, they got the little slider there, but there's not enough focal there for me. I'll give it a hover. Actually, there looks to be a bit of latency there too. No. Oh, look, these are no, kid, there's latency there as well. It's going up, but it's sort of like that jerky bit. I thought, oh yeah.
Hang on, are we in the DVR menu?
I don't know.
All right, take two, because I'm pretty sure I left it on the DVR menu, which is the mistake I made last time saying there was terrible latency. So let's see how we go this time, Trev. So I've turned it off and it's back to the, which is a mistake. I don't know why these goggles do it this way.
Oh, that's better. No latency now. Okay, they're not as crappy as what I thought they were. They're a little bit out of focus for me. The colours are nice. Oh shit, that drops out quick. Is my head straight?
Yep.
Well, okay, well that's reception again. The goggles, they're reasonably comfortable. I guess if you're starting out, they're all right. That reception's still shit. That's terrible.
What do you reckon, say, because these are a bit more expensive, but versus the much cheaper reviewed a little while ago, I'll leave a link somewhere for the viewers too, the VR Pros. So not the VR D2s, just the ones that didn't have diversity or anything. What do you think of this versus those?
Well, these might have diversity, but I reckon the other one's better. Look, I reckon the cheaper ones are better. These might have diversity, but the reception on this is just it really is. Look, pretty picture. It might have a DVR, but that's only upgrade it's got. I reckon they've gone backwards. Look, I'm that close, and I'm getting dropouts. So I'm not even going to fly it along our normal track. For the money, I'd give them a miss. Get the ones without the DVR. Nah, give these a miss, guys. On the shitter meter, these are bloody 2. I wouldn't even. Nah, not even a 2. They're crap. Give them a miss. These are right. Don't like them. Nothing I like about them.
And what about the battery?
Oh, it's got a good battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it'll cheap enough. Buy them. Keep the battery. Throw these in the bin.
All right, well, I knew Trevor was never really a fan of box goggles, but yeah, I don't think he's definitely not a fan of these upgrades. So do you think they're an upgrade?
Nah, these are going backwards. Get the $65 ones if you're just starting off. Not worth it for the DVR. Reception is absolutely compared to what we had with the other ones, which is pretty hard to believe when there's supposed to be diversity. The menu system, I'm not even going to ever play with that. Nah, they're don't even rank a rating.
Yeah.
Rightio, so there it is. There's my review of the VR D2 Pros, and I've got to say I tend to agree with Trevor because look, maybe not throw them in the bin, but I definitely am not a fan of these goggles. They hurt my face. They actually made my eyes feel like they were straining a little bit, which is strange because most of the other goggles I've tried on, I haven't had that issue whatsoever. The menu system was junk, and overall, look, they do have DVR, and that's, you know, quite a nice feature to have, but overall, I don't think that these are worth the price tag, and the part that really frustrates me is I don't think there's so much of an upgrade. So by slapping that Pro or that upgrade on there, I really think that that's just a bit of a cash grab, which is a bit of a shame. I think you'd be much better suited to get some of the VR 007 Pros, because even though those goggles were only $45, I'll leave a link up here to that review, but those goggles were so much better. And if you said to me, Stuart, you can have the VR 007 Pros or the VR D2 Pros, that's getting confusing, I would pick the 007s every time, because even though they didn't have diversity and they didn't have DVR, it was just such a better flying experience. And that's what this is all about. When you're out there and you're flying around, you want to have a good FPV experience, and so far, I definitely think the VR D2 Pros didn't deliver on that one. So I'm going to say give it a miss as well, guys. But hopefully that helped you guys out there. Subscribe for more FPV related content. Drop some comments down below for Grumpy Trev. Let him know what you think of his reviews. And as always, happy flying.
Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page, because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAVfutures family, there's things like bonus Velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.